Today, we are diving deep into the world of digital control. We're going to ask a really simple question. What actually happens to your quote-unquote private messages the second after you hit send? I mean, think about it. You just sent a message on WhatsApp or Instagram, you saw that little end-to-end encrypted label, and, you probably felt pretty safe. But what if that feeling of security is just an illusion?
Well, our story really kicks off in France. They just made a huge move that sent some serious shockwaves through the tech world. And the reason they did it? It has massive implications for every single one of us.
So what did France actually do?
Well, it all comes down to this idea that's shaping global politics right now: digital sovereignty.
Okay, so the French government has straight up banned its officials from using platforms like Zoom and Microsoft Teams for anything official. Their reasoning is crystal clear. They're worried about privacy and the security of their national data. And they're not just banning these apps, they're really pushing their own homegrown alternatives.
And this is the core of it all: digital sovereignty. It's this belief that for a country to be truly independent in the 21st century, it can't just control its physical borders anymore. It has to control its digital ones too. That means having total control over its own data and all the technology that carries it.
So why the big rush all of a sudden? According to our source material, a huge reason for France, and for Europe in general, is a major loss of trust in the United States. They just don't trust the US to protect their data anymore. They're afraid it could be watched or even used against them. But look, this isn't just about geopolitics. This whole issue gets right to the heart of the business model that basically powers the entire internet. A model where your data is the real currency. And get this, the source points to a really wild example in India. We're talking about entire government departments, intelligence agents, even military folks coordinating their work on WhatsApp groups. Just think about how sensitive that information is, all of it flowing through a platform owned by a foreign company.
And this is where it gets really scary. There's a class action lawsuit filed in the US that makes an absolutely shocking claim that Meta, the company that owns WhatsApp, can actually read your supposedly encrypted private messages in real time. Now, the company says the claim is absurd, but the fact that it's even being alleged, wow, it just exposes a huge potential vulnerability.
So how could that even be possible? Well, according to tech founder Sridhar Vembu, the issue isn't some bug in the system. It's a feature of the entire business model. The conflict of interest is baked right in from the start.
And this just lays out the cycle perfectly, right? First, you use a free app. Then that app collects your data, your conversations, what you search for, your private thoughts. All of that is analyzed to build this incredibly detailed profile of who you are, which is then sold to advertisers. The entire model is built on getting access to your information.
This right here is exactly why you always hear that phrase, data is the new oil. It's become the most valuable resource on the planet, and the companies that control it have unbelievable power. Sridhar Vembu takes this whole idea even further. He draws this really powerful and honestly pretty unsettling parallel to history. He argues that today's big tech giants are acting like a brand new kind of colonial power. I mean, just look at this comparison. Back in the colonial era, power meant controlling trade routes and physical stuff, right? Well, today, power comes from controlling the flow of information and the digital pipes. It's a whole new kind of dependency where a nation's digital oil, its data, is being pumped out and sold by foreign companies. And this control isn't just about money. The source suggests that these platforms have the power to be the gatekeepers of information. They can literally decide which ideas go viral and which ones just disappear. That is a profound ability to shape what we talk about and, at the end of the day, to control the entire national conversation. So if these foreign platforms are such a risk, what's the answer? Well, for a country like India, the journey to true tech independence is going to be a long, long road. But see, achieving digital sovereignty isn't as simple as just building a new messaging app. It's about mastering the whole shebang, the entire technology stack. We're talking from the very bottom, semiconductors and hardware, all the way up to the core software and the social platforms we use every day. It's a massive, multi-layered challenge. And how long is this going to take? Well, Sridhar Vembu's estimate is not a quick fix. He thinks it could take India anywhere from 5 to 15 years to build these capabilities from the ground up and achieve real digital sovereignty. And that brings us to the final, really critical point from the source. A country can build a massive $10 trillion economy, but if it doesn't control its own data, its own digital infrastructure, that economic power is basically empty. Real power, real sovereignty lies somewhere else.
Which kind of leaves us all with one big question to think about. In a world where data is now the most valuable resource, what does it actually mean for a person, or even a whole country, to be truly independent?